I have a question for all the people pleasers out there, and I want to know if this is something that you share. When I think about other people, I don't think about what I get from them. I think about what I can provide. When I look at them, I see their potential. I see the future for them. And I stand for that. And when I'm bringing them into something, it's always in servitude of a future that I see for them. And I've always used this inside of every relationship. Every relationship. When I'm creating in business, even the products that I create, I always think about the end user, and that guides the design process, where I think about somebody installing my turbo kit. I think about driving the car. I think about all the ways I can create this thing to really perfect it for somebody. When I'm doing cars, I think about them driving it, the experience of it for them. And, that's always where the heartbreak comes from, is because that's what makes us different from them, is they don't do that. And so they naturally are going to presume that you have different motives. I've been called some of the worst names in every single one of these situations. And without exception, not a single person that's done something to me, which makes up the vast majority of everybody I've ever encountered, has ever recognized me at all. At all. And when you look at it, and I look at my life, everything was a fight for recognition. That the things that I was working on embodied who I was, that I just wanted to emerge in a world where I was invisible. And so things like the products I made were an effort for me to assert my identity. You see, and what there is to see is that we're looking for validation. Now, people think validation and insecurity, but that's not what it is. Validation is really sort of an acknowledgement of you through something outside of yourself, that these things you do for people become who you are for them. You see, because that's the world of narcissists. You were raised in a world of narcissists, and so your value became what you do, what you provide. And so you were trained and developed to experience your value through things outside of yourself, not you. That's why when people acknowledge you, it makes you uncomfortable, because you're not used to it. It puts you on the spot. It actually causes the confrontation between those thoughts of self that are driving you in life to try to aspire to fix yourself and become perfect and become good enough, but you're not quite there yet. And so when you get called out for being a good person, for having talent, you're not there yet. And so what there is to see is you've been sort of in denial of who you are while being in pursuit of it, which means you're running from yourself while thinking you're pursuing that happiness, that peace of mind. And so living in a world where we've been conditioned to seek validation in exchange for narcissistic supply, is a world where we always lose. Because what you'll notice is that even when you get the validation for what you do, it doesn't quite fulfill you. Because you'll see this reality where they really just like what I do for them, not who I am for them. And so the irony of being a people pleaser is we're automatically negating ourselves by looking for the validation, when all that will do is lead to us feeling empty and feeling unacknowledged. It's like if you brought a pizza to a party and everyone liked it, and it's like, thank you for bringing the pizza. It's okay, you'll feel great for making people happy, but if you keep doing that, eventually they just expect it. And then it dries up and you'll be left, well, nobody says thank you, or nobody really appreciates me, or nobody else brings pizza. And so you fail to see, well, not everybody's a people pleaser. And maybe, just maybe, the pizza's the compensation that you think maybe you're not enough the way you are, because that's how you were raised. You don't think you're enough the way you are. And so therefore, you're not compatible with the very acknowledgement that your heart needs or wants or desires. But the truth is, if you were able to let go of thinking you're not enough, thinking you're broken, thinking there's something wrong with you, all the love that you've been looking for out there with them comes right back. It's only been displaced. When they say love is inside of you, that's the truth. There is no emotion outside. There's no emotion out there. People don't give you emotions. Things don't give you love. Nobody gives you love. They just give you an opportunity to experience yourself. And that's why it's temporary. That's why the validation of somebody can make you feel really good temporarily, but that's all. It doesn't restore you because it's still a reaction towards fixing something. Like you keep trying to fix yourself, improve yourself. And so you're still living a life trying to improve yourself so that more and more people, or the people in your lives, will finally see the truth about you. You're trying to prove yourself to the people that have no interest in you whatsoever. And it's a losing battle. There's no world where you and I will ever find fulfillment merely in success, merely in possessing things, merely in getting attention, merely in having people think that we're finally enough to be worthy of a compliment every now and then, a thank you. And so you have to understand, being a people pleaser is just being somebody developed as a child to coexist with the types of people that can never acknowledge other people fully because they can't acknowledge themselves. And so it's never really been your fault. It's never really been that there's something wrong. It's never been that there's something broken about you. It's never been that you're not enough. It's just been that you had to tell yourself you were. You had to pretend that you were broken. You had to go along with your parents. You had to feel like you were a bad person if you said no, and you had to be nice, and you had to hold your feelings inside. You had to wait for the approval. You had to scour the environment to make sure you understood the way people felt so you can intervene. And making people happy has always been looked at as something that would make you happy. But if you truly look at it, it's never really worked, has it? Because it's never really real. And so as we continue to react to the non-reality of thoughts about ourselves as being not enough and broken, we continue the spin cycle of nonsense. And it's really our spin cycle. And it's our opportunity to get out of that spin cycle and to say enough is enough. I'm not broken. There's nothing not good enough about me. I don't have to try to be good enough or perfect anymore. I can be me. I can be myself. I can be my purpose. I can be my intention. And the light that used to just come out every once in a while, that's just going to be me. That's who I am, and that's who I choose to be. Somebody that makes a difference for other people. And they're not going to understand it. They're not going to get it. They're not going to see it. And that's not my fault. It's not my problem. I'm just going to keep being. And I'm not going to be perfect. I can be emotional. I've had my life destroyed many times. But guess what? I'm still here. I'm still committed. And I'm still learning. And I'm still growing. And I'm still here for you. Anytime, any place. All you got to do is reach out. That's for every single person. That I'll always take the time for you. Because I see myself in you. I'm no better. No worse. We're all people. We're all the same. We're all gifted. We're all beautiful. We're all magical. And the truth is that there's nothing we need to do to be valuable. That life is just valuable. That human life is worth it. You're worth it. You'll always be worth it to me. And I'll never see you as broken. I'll never see you as not enough. I'll never see that there's something wrong. I'll only see me in you. Us, people, the gifted ones. That's who I speak to. I speak to the ones that are on that journey of awakening. The front lines of making a difference. That some of us were chosen for that. Some of you know that you were chosen for it. Some of you are going to wake up. And the question is, are you going to surrender to the light or the dark? It's your choice either way. The illusion of the comfort of darkness, that's sin. It's not true. It's deception. And you're going to have to let it go. You're going to have to find your love within. And once you do, you are going to be so powerful. I promise. I give you my word. There's something within you that is so brilliant. It's begging you to let it out. It's begging. Just listen. You'll see.